So this is what my footage looks like directly out of my camera. And then this is what it looks like when it's fully graded with a LUT and color correction using DaVinci Resolve. So today I'm just going to take you through the way I personally color grade all of my footage from start to finish. There are heaps of different ways to color grade, but this is just the way I personally do it. So hopefully you'll learn something. Let's jump into Resolve and get started. All right, so here we are in Resolve with my ungraded footage. And the first step is to add some nodes. So I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes to start with. And I'm just going to name these. I'm going to name this one conversion, this one creative LUT, then the first one correction, the second one levels. Now, the place we want to start is converting our footage from this, which is log footage, to Rec 709, which is just standard color footage. So to do that, I just use an effect in DaVinci Resolve called color space transform. So just select that, drag it onto the conversion node. Then all you have to do is change the input color space and input gamma to the type of log footage that we're using. So for me, I'm using Sony S-Gamma 3.cine for the color space, and then the input gamma is just Sony S-Log3. And as you can see, that's changed it essentially to Rec 709. What I like to do is just change the output color space and the output gamma to Rec 709 just to be totally safe. So just select Rec 709 there and then Rec 709 there. So now we're turning our Sony S-Log3 footage into Rec 709 with a conversion effect. Some people use conversion LUTs. I just find the conversion effect really reliable and straightforward. So this is definitely what I recommend. Now from here, basically what I want to do is I want to prepare my footage for my LUT. So I use my own LUT, which is LUT 02. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. But that's just what I use to keep all of my footage consistent across all of my content. And this is definitely what I recommend doing. I recommend getting a LUT that you like, that gives your footage a particular style that's unique to you, and then applying that to all of your footage to get a really consistent look and feel. Now that's the last thing we're going to apply. So what we want to do is just color correct our base footage. And again, there's all sorts of different ways to color correct, but I'm going to show you the easiest way that I know specifically for footage that contains a subject, like A-roll talking head footage like this. And the easiest way I know is to basically correct for your skin tone. So the way I think about it is nobody actually really knows what my studio looks like in terms of colors, because most people have never actually been in this room. However, most people know what skin tone looks like. So I will always prioritize skin tone first and foremost, because if your skin tone looks just a little bit weird, then people will always notice, because people see skin all the time, so they know what it looks like. So you want to make sure that's as accurate as possible. All the rest of the background, it doesn't matter. I can make this like blue or green or pink. No one really knows what it looks like, so it doesn't matter so much. And it won't look out of place if it's not completely true to life. So to correct my skin tone, which currently looks okay, I usually have my white balance set pretty correctly and I've got a good light, but it's still a little bit off. And the reason I know it's a bit off is by looking at the vector scope down here. In your color tab, you'll have this window down here, scopes. Just make sure the vector scope is selected. And then what I recommend doing is popping it out so you get a bigger view. So just press this little icon here. And then we've got this really massive, I might make it a little bit smaller, window so we can see what we're working with. Now, in order to check my skin tones, I just need to go here and just make sure the qualifier is selected. This will give you this little pipette tool. And as you can see, wherever I drag this pipette, it's going to show me a circle for that exact spot where I've got my pipette. Now, if I put it over my skin tones, what we're looking for is how that circle intersects with this white line. Now, if you can't see this white line on your screen, just go to settings here and make sure show skin tone indicator is turned on. Also recommend showing 2x zoom, so you've just got to clear out an image to work with. Once you've got that, and we mouse over again with our qualifier tool, it's very subtle because this is pretty accurately filmed. We can see our skin tone is just a little bit too far on the red side. It needs to be a little bit more towards yellow. So you can see here, this is red, this is yellow, green, cyan, blue, and magenta. And basically for me, there's kind of two settings that I'll change, and that's temperature and tint. So if we go down to the HDR panel here, and we just play around with the temperature and tint settings. So the way to kind of think about it is if you change the temp, it's going to move all of the colors in a kind of northwest direction. And then if you put it in the other direction, it's going to put everything in a southeast direction, just like that. And then with the tint, this moves it kind of like northeast to southwest. So what we're kind of trying to do is to get our skin tone right on this line and a bit closer to the center. So I'll kind of just eyeball it. We can see here, we've got this big mass here, which is probably like my jumper and my skin tone a bit. So I'm just going to move that a bit closer to the center, somewhere around there, move it down a bit. And this is kind of where the experimentation comes in. You just got to kind of play around with it a bit. And I'm just looking at my vectorscope right now. I'm not actually looking at my actual footage. So around there's looking pretty good on the vectorscope. Now if I go back with the qualifier, still looking a bit on the red side, which is not what we want. So I'm going to move, add a bit more green. It's looking closer. Let's add a bit more green. That's looking pretty decent. But now I start to add a bit of eyeballing. So I'm going to look at my frame. It's looking a bit too green. So what I might actually change, since that's looking correct on the vectorscope, I'm going to change the temperature. Just play with that a little bit. It's looking okay around there. That's actually looking pretty decent. Now, subtlety is really key here. You don't want to move this like huge amounts, just small little tweaks at a time. Just play around, push and pull a bit. I think that's looking pretty decent there. So my skin tones are looking pretty accurate. And already, if we go before and after, you can see there's a pretty dramatic difference. It's both on the vectorscope and on the actual footage itself as well. And I think overall, it's just looking a bit too cool for me. So I might just bump it up in terms of color temp a little bit and then adjust the tint. This is one of those things you can just spend ages tweaking to try and get perfect. As long as you got it roughly right, I'm pretty happy with where that's sitting. Then that is the main thing. Again, we've got the before and after. You can see it's a pretty dramatic difference. But now we know that the skin tone hopefully is more accurate to real life than it was looking like before. You can see here it's got that sort of like orange magenta kind of feel, whereas when I've added the effects, it's looking a lot more real to life. Now I'm just going to close that. The next thing is the levels. So this was already exposed pretty decently, but I am just going to adjust it a little bit. And this time I'm going to use the waveform. I'll pop that out. Now this gives me an idea of where all of the different brightness levels are in my image. So again, if I mouse over with the qualifier, you can see this white is sitting around here. So right at the top, that's pure white. And then right at the bottom with 0, that's pure black. So my jumper obviously isn't pure white, which is good. It's not overexposed. And then the shadows are pretty close to black, but not completely, which is kind of where I like them. And again, the key thing is skin tone. So if I mouse over the skin tone, it's actually looking a little bit dark. We want it to be sitting around the 75% line. So it's currently around the 70% line, which is okay, but we could boost it a little bit. So what I might do is I'm going to go over to my primaries color wheels. Just make sure the levels node is selected. I'm just going to boost my gain a touch. And it's making my background a little bright. So I'm just going to turn down my midtones like so. So I'm just going to boost the gain a little bit like that. It's looking pretty good. And if we check with the qualifier, could go a little bit higher. There we go. So that's sitting around the 75% mark, which is what we want. Go for the brightest part of your skin. Obviously, don't check the shadows because they're always going to be darker. Just go for the brightest part. We can even go a touch darker. That's pretty good there. I'm pretty happy with that. That looks good in terms of overall exposure. Now, if you see the before and after, you can see there's quite a dramatic difference. And then last but not least, we've got our creative LUT. So this is the effect that we're going to apply. So I'm just going to go over to my LUTs tab and go to custom and then select LUT 02. Drag and drop that. And then as you can see, it's looking quite intense. This is too intense for how I like it. So I go to this tab here, which is the key tab, and just turn down the key output or the gain for the key output. So I just turn this down. Turn it down, that's completely off. Turn it all the way up, that's completely on. So I like it somewhere around here. That's looking pretty good to me. And then from here, I can go and tweak my levels again just a little bit because different LUTs will affect your footage differently. So again, if we pop out this waveform, get the qualifier, you can see my skin tones are still okay, but I think the shadows are looking a bit too intense. So I'm going to boost my midtones a little, maybe bring back down my gain. And that is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how that looks. So I close this window. This is without the creative LUT. That's with the creative LUT. So as you can see, it makes a dramatic difference with the LUT as well. And obviously you don't have to use my LUT. There's all sorts of different LUTs out there. So I'll just give you some examples. We go Blockbuster. I've got all these different ones. So this one is based on the film A Silent Place. So it gives you this kind of like muted look. Or we've got something more like Candy Rush, which gives you a much more intense saturated look. So obviously, again, there's so many different LUTs online. You can go and find heaps, find one that suits your style or get one custom made. This again is the one that I like. And that is basically the whole process for me of how I color correct all of my footage from start to finish. So there you go. I hope that was useful. Don't forget, if you do want to check out my LUT that I use on all of my videos across my YouTube channel, then check out the link in the description where you can pick that up. In the meantime, if you're looking for more tutorials, specifically when it comes to video editing, then check out this playlist right here where I have a whole bunch of other tutorials, especially relating to Final Cut Pro.